There's a specific kind of burnout that happens when you realize you aren't actually running a business anymore. You're just feeding an algorithm. It's a cycle where you need content to survive, but the time it takes to produce that content is exactly what's keeping you from doing the work that pays the bills. I recently built a system for a local client to break this loop, not by using AI to generate posts, but by using it to replicate the logic of a marketing department. We wanted to see if a structured workflow could handle the heavy lifting of a month's worth of branding without losing the human touch that actually makes a sale.
Take a local boutique owner. Let's call her Sarah. She designs high-end, handcrafted jewelry. On paper, she's a founder and a creative. In reality, she's become an unpaid intern for social media. Her morning doesn't start with design. It starts with hunting for trending audio, trimming clips, trying to write captions that sound authentic rather than desperate, and checking analytics every 20 minutes. This is the core paradox. You can't grow without a digital presence, but you can't run a business if you're filming it all day. Most growth experts tell you to just post more, but that's lazy advice if the quality isn't there. Pumping out generic, low-effort noise doesn't build a brand. It just creates digital clutter that customers eventually learn to ignore.
Sarah was drowning in the manual labor of staying relevant. The traditional fix is to outsource the headache to a human, but that's where the business logic usually hits a wall. If you hire a junior social media manager, you're often just trading a time problem for a management problem, and you still worry about losing that personal spark. The standard argument against automation is that a machine can't capture the heart of a business. It's a valid point, but we have to look at the actual trade-off most small businesses are making right now. If you hire a part-time assistant or a budget freelancer, you aren't usually getting a dedicated creative director. You're getting someone juggling 5 other clients who might have 20 minutes to think about your brand before moving to the next task.
They're often guessing, using generic templates, or just trying to keep the social media feed from going dark. In this scenario, the human touch is often just a polite way of describing inconsistent, low-effort work. This is where the context window shifts the dynamic. Unlike a human worker who might lose track of your specific tone or brand values during a busy week, the AI is fed your entire business logic as a baseline. It has your brand voice, customer pain points, and past successful hooks ready for every single prompt. It doesn't forget the core strategy because that data is a permanent part of its instructions. When we looked at the cost per post for the boutique, the results were clear.
We weren't just cutting expenses, we were improving the consistency of the output. A tired freelancer might post something generic at 5 p.m. on a Friday just to finish the day. The AI doesn't experience fatigue or writer's block. It stays aligned with the brand strategy regardless of the volume. But theory only proves so much. To see how this actually functions without becoming a mess of automated text, we need to look at the architecture. Let's break down the specific tools and the logic stack that makes this level of output possible. The problem is, most people think using AI for content is just sitting in front of a ChatGPT prompt and hoping for the best. That's not a system, it's just manual labor with a different tool. For this business, I didn't want a chatbot, I wanted a pipeline.
The framework I built, which I call AutoBiz AI, is a 3-layer architecture designed to treat content like a structured workflow rather than a guessing game. First, you have the logic layer, usually GPT-4 or Claude. The shift here is that we don't just give it a prompt, we give it a brand constitution. AI has no context of the past. It will repeat the same hooks and structures every few days because it doesn't know what it said yesterday.
Without a central record, AI has no context of the past. It will repeat the same hooks and structures every few days because it doesn't know what it said yesterday.
By storing every previous post and performance metric, the system cross-references new ideas against what has already been published. This ensures the output evolves instead of just spinning in circles. Finally, there's the automation layer. Using make.com, we built the connectors that move data between the logic and the database. When a raw idea or a product photo enters the system, this layer carries it through the refining process, generates the platform-specific metadata, and lands it directly into a scheduling tool. This stack transforms a chaotic creative process into a predictable flow. A single input, like a photo of a new product, triggers a sequence that drafts, formats, and aligns the post with the marketing strategy.
But this level of automation usually invites a major criticism.
If a machine is doing the heavy lifting, doesn't the content eventually start to feel generic? This is the quality trap. You've seen the style. Overly formal, weirdly enthusiastic, and packed with generic advice. Critics argue that AI lacks soul, and looking at the average generated post, they're right. But the debate isn't about a lack of technology, it's about a lack of context. Most people treat AI as a search engine that writes, but for a small business, that's a recipe for blending into the background.
To solve this, we stopped using generic instructions and started feeding the system what I call brand DNA. Instead of asking it to be friendly or professional, we provided a library of the client's top 50 best performing posts from the previous year. We forced the logic layer to analyze the actual mechanics of those posts, the average sentence length, the specific vocabulary the owner used, and the way they transitioned from a story into a call to action. By using past successes as the dataset, the system stopped guessing and started following the established rhythm of the business. However, even a calibrated system isn't a total replacement. There's a necessary human-in-the-loop element here.
The AI handles the heavy lifting, the research, the drafting, and the initial formatting. But the business owner still provides the final 10% of intuition. It shifts their role from a writer struggling with a blank page to an editor-in-chief refining a nearly finished product. With the brand data loaded and the workflow mapped out, the theory was finished. It was time to see if this logic actually held up when we put it into practice. I sat down with Sarah, the owner, and we opened the dashboard. Before this, Sarah spent every Sunday night, usually about 4 hours, scrambling to figure out what to say for the upcoming week. It was a repetitive cycle of stress that never really felt finished. I clicked the run button on the automation.
What happened next wasn't a trick. It was the workflow doing exactly we'd programmed it to do. The system pulled 30 distinct product highlights from her inventory, cross-referenced them with the brand voice data we'd established, and started drafting. .com acted as the central hub, sending signals to the LLM to write the captions, then to a secondary prompt to generate visual descriptions, and finally to Airtable to organize everything into a calendar. We weren't guessing anymore. We were watching a month of marketing strategy take shape in about 15 minutes. The room got quiet. Sarah stopped leaning forward to check for errors and just sat back, looking at the screen. For the first time in 3 years, she wasn't facing a backlog of tasks she didn't have time for. She was looking at a finished product that she just needed to review or tweak. The constant pressure to keep up with the algorithm was finally gone. But high-speed output is secondary to actual results. Producing content is one thing, making it work for the business is another. We let the system run for a full month to see how it performed in the real world. When we finally looked at the spreadsheet, what we found was even more interesting than the speed. Let's look at the actual numbers, because this is where the debate between manual labor and automation gets settled. Before we built this, my client was spending about 10 hours a week on the content grind. That's 40 hours a month, literally a full work week just trying to stay visible. After the system went live, that 40-hour commitment dropped to just 2 hours of high-level review. That's a 95% reduction in the time cost of production. But the real test isn't just saving hours, it's whether the output actually performed. Did it move the needle, or did it just fill the feed with generic fluff? The metrics showed a clear trend. Reach didn't just stay steady, it actually climbed. The reason isn't that the AI is a better writer than a human. It's that the AI is more consistent. It doesn't get burned out, it doesn't skip a Tuesday because it had a long day, and it never forgets the brand's voice. For a small business, showing up every single day is the real leverage. We turned content from a heavy, recurring chore into a low-cost asset that runs in the background. If you're tired of trading your weekends for social posts and want to see the logic behind this, I've included the workflow documentation and the system maps in the resources below. This shift changes the math for everyone. It's no longer about who can afford the biggest marketing team, it's about who has the smartest system. And that raises a much bigger question about how the little guy survives in a world where big-budget competitors are no longer the only ones who can scale.
The data points to a clear resolution. The human versus machine debate is a false choice. The winner isn't the AI, and it's certainly not the person grinding through manual uploads. It's the hybrid model.
The real shift here is psychological. You have to stop being the person who makes the content and start being the one who manages the process. For a small business, this isn't a high-end luxury anymore. It's the baseline for staying relevant. If your competition is running a system like this while you're still staring at a blank screen on a Sunday night, you aren't just working harder, you're falling behind. But let's be clear, the system handles the repetition, but it doesn't have a pulse. It's fast, but it's directionless without someone calling the shots. The automation handles the grunt work, but the strategy is still on you. The job hasn't disappeared, it's just evolved. Now that the hours of busy work are gone, the actual creative work can finally begin.